The ubiquitous Boda Boda, a symbol of convenience and connectivity in Kenya, has a dark underbelly. While many riders navigate the bustling streets honestly, a growing number are ensnared in a web of crime and violence. Cartels, with their tentacles reaching deep into society, have cast a long shadow over this vital industry. Fear and uncertainty have become constant companions for many riders, their dreams of a better life fading with each passing day. This is the story of their struggle for survival. The allure of quick money and the promise of financial independence has attracted many young Kenyans to the Boda Boda industry. With minimal barriers to entry, it seems like an ideal opportunity for those seeking to escape the grip of poverty. However, this seemingly straightforward path to economic empowerment is fraught with danger. The roads are perilous and accidents are a common occurrence, often leading to severe injuries or even fatalities. Beyond the physical risks, there are darker forces at play. Cartels, operating with impunity, have infiltrated the industry, exploiting riders' vulnerabilities and turning their dreams into nightmares. These criminal organizations prey on the desperation of young riders, luring them into a web of illegal activities. These criminal networks operate with a chilling ruthlessness, employing violence and intimidation to maintain control. Riders who resist or attempt to break free from their grip often face dire consequences, including threats to their lives and the safety of their loved ones. The Boda Boda industry, once a beacon of hope for many, is now grappling with a crisis of safety and security. Law enforcement agencies struggle to keep up with the escalating violence and criminal activities, leaving riders feeling abandoned and vulnerable. Riders, often young men with families to support, are caught in a web of exploitation and fear. The pressure to provide for their loved ones forces them to take risks, both on the road and in their dealings with these dangerous cartels. The promise of a better life, the very reason they risked everything to enter this industry, seems like a distant dream. As they navigate this treacherous landscape, the hope that once fueled their ambitions is overshadowed by the harsh realities they face daily. As the sun sets on the bustling streets of Nairobi, a palpable sense of dread descends upon the Boda Boda community, a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the shadows. This is not just a story about crime, it is a story about the human cost of unchecked greed and the erosion of trust in society. It is a story that needs to be told, a reality that needs to be confronted, and a system that desperately needs to change. The lives of countless young men and the well-being of an entire nation hang in the balance. Albert Muthoka, a young man from rural Kenya, arrived in Nairobi with dreams as vast as the open sky. He aspired to provide for his family, to build a life better than the one he left behind. The Boda Boda industry, with its promise of quick earnings, seemed like the perfect opportunity. He secured a loan, purchased a motorcycle, and joined the ranks of thousands of other riders navigating the city's chaotic streets. For a while things went well. Albert worked tirelessly, ferrying passengers through the city's congested arteries. He sent money home regularly, his heart filled with pride and hope. He was living his dream, or so he thought. Unbeknownst to Albert, his hard work and dedication had not gone unnoticed. Day after day he toiled away, believing that his efforts were paving the way for a better future. He was a man of routine, a man who believed in the value of honest labor. The cartel, always on the lookout for new recruits, had set their sights on him. They had been observing him for weeks, studying his habits, his routes, and his vulnerabilities. To them, Albert was the perfect candidate, trusting, hard-working, and unsuspecting. One evening after a long day of work, Albert received a call from a familiar number. The sun had just set, casting long shadows across the city streets. He was tired but content, ready to unwind after another day of driving. It was a customer he had driven on several occasions, a friendly face in the urban jungle. This customer had always been polite and generous, tipping well and engaging in pleasant conversation. Albert felt a sense of camaraderie within, a rare connection in the bustling city. The customer requested a pickup from a remote location on the outskirts of the city. It was an unusual request, but Albert didn't think much of it. He had driven to many such places before, and the customer had never given him a reason to doubt his intentions. Trusting and eager to please, Albert agreed. He prided himself on his reliability and his willingness to go the extra mile for his customers. Little did he know that this decision would change his life forever. Little did he know that this seemingly ordinary request was a carefully laid trap. The remote location was perfect for the cartel's plans, isolated, quiet, and far from prying eyes. Albert drove there, unaware of the danger that awaited him. As Albert arrived at the designated location, a group of men emerged from the shadows. They moved with a predatory grace, their faces obscured by the darkness. The air was thick with tension, and Albert's instincts screamed at him to leave. They surrounded him, their faces hidden, their intentions clear. Albert's heart pounded in his chest as he realized he was trapped. There was no escape, no way to call for help. He was at their mercy. Fear surged through Albert's veins as he realized the gravity of his situation. His mind raced, trying to find a way out, but there was none. He was alone, outnumbered, and completely vulnerable. He had become another target in the cartel's web of deceit, another pawn in their deadly game. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. His life was no longer his own. He was now a part of a world he had tried so hard to avoid, a world of danger and deception. The cartel's modus operandi is as calculated as it is cruel. They often utilize unsuspecting customers, individuals who have gained the trust of unsuspecting riders, to lure them into meticulously planned ambushes. These unsuspecting customers, often coerced or threatened themselves, become unwitting accomplices in the cartel's reign of terror. They are but pawns in a larger game, their lives intertwined with the fate of the riders they betray. The betrayal cuts deep, shattering the fragile bonds of trust that exist between riders and their customers. It is a betrayal that preys on the very essence of human connection, exploiting the inherent belief in the goodness of others. The cartel understands this dynamic all too well, manipulating it to their advantage, turning trust into a weapon against those they seek to control. For riders like Albert, the realization that their trust has been so ruthlessly exploited is a bitter pill to swallow. It is a betrayal that leaves them feeling vulnerable and exposed, their faith in humanity shaken to its core. The streets they once navigated with confidence now seem like a labyrinth of deceit, where danger lurks around every corner. The cartel's strategy is as effective as it is insidious. By exploiting the trust between riders and customers, they create an environment of fear and suspicion, effectively dismantling the social fabric of the industry. This climate of fear makes it increasingly difficult for riders to distinguish between genuine customers and those acting on behalf of the cartel, leaving them in a perpetual state of vulnerability. Section 4. The struggle for justice. Bringing the perpetrators to justice is a Herculean task, fraught with challenges and roadblocks. The cartel, with its deep pockets and influence, often manages to evade the long arm of the law. Witnesses, fearing for their lives and the safety of their loved ones, are often reluctant to come forward, their silence perpetuating a culture of impunity. The police, often understaffed and ill-equipped, struggle to keep pace with the cartel's sophisticated operations. Corruption, a pervasive problem in Kenya, further complicates matters. The cartel, through bribes and threats, has infiltrated various levels of law enforcement, effectively neutralizing any meaningful attempts to dismantle their operations. This insidious web of corruption creates a climate of fear and distrust, eroding public confidence in the ability of the authorities to deliver justice. The families of victims, like Albert's, are left to grapple with the devastating consequences of these crimes. The loss of a loved one is a wound that never fully heals, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the cruelty that exists in the world. Their pleas for justice often falling on deaf ears, these families find themselves in a relentless battle against a system that seems indifferent to their suffering. The protests and demonstrations are not just acts of defiance but cries for recognition and action. They are forced to navigate a complex and often corrupt legal system, where bureaucracy and red tape can delay justice for years. The legal jargon, the endless paperwork, and the frequent court appearances become a part of their daily lives, adding to their emotional and mental burden. Their hopes dwindling with each passing day, the waiting becomes unbearable. Each delay, each postponed hearing feels like another blow to their already fragile spirits. The anxiety and uncertainty weigh heavily on them, making the journey toward justice seem like an endless road. The pain of their loss is compounded by the knowledge that their loved ones' killers may never be held accountable. The grief is a constant companion, and the fear that justice may never be served only deepens their sorrow. The gravesite becomes a place of both mourning and a silent vow to keep fighting. The struggle for justice in the face of such overwhelming odds is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the heartache and the seemingly insurmountable challenges, these families find strength in each other and in their communities. Their unity and determination are powerful forces that drive them forward. Despite the challenges, families of victims and concerned citizens continue to demand accountability. They organize rallies, hold vigils, and use every platform available to make their voices heard. Their collective efforts are a powerful reminder that they will not be silenced. Their voices echoing through the corridors of power, they engage with lawmakers, attend public hearings, and lobby for changes in legislation. They refuse to be mere spectators in the fight for justice, actively participating in the process and pushing for reforms that can prevent future tragedies. They refuse to let the memory of their loved ones be forgotten. The memorials and shared stories keep the spirit of the departed alive, serving as a constant reminder of why the fight for justice is so crucial. Each flower, each photo, is a testament to a life that mattered, their pursuit of justice a beacon of hope in the face of despair. The candlelight vigils, the marches, and the symbolic flames represent their unwavering hope and determination. In the darkest of times, their resolve shines brightly, inspiring others to join their cause and continue the fight for justice.